traditionally, infrastructure is created through point and click approach. This works perfectly fine if your infrastructure should stay the way it is when it was set up. But that's not the case. You need to update it frequently. You need to change the configurations. You need to scale up and scale down the infrastructure. We are also seeing a trend that organizations are moving towards cloud, migrating their data centers. Organizations are facing issues, some of the issues like scalability and traceability. To address these issues, infrastructure as code is leveraged. Terraform is an open source tool which is used to create infrastructure through infrastructure as code. Hi, my name is Azim Sheikh. In this video, I'm going to try to explain the functional aspects of infrastructure as code, GitOps, using Terraform Cloud and GitHub. The expectation is that you already have a Terraform Cloud account and a GitHub account. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please consider subscribing my channel. I'm going to work on interesting topics like these. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. Let's start by creating a repository in GitHub. So I'm going to name this repository as name generator. And I'm going to add this into my local repository. So similarly, I'm going to create a new folder in my local machine. So I'm going to call the same here. And let's add a README file. Let's add a Git Ignore file. These are pretty standard in terms of creating a new repositories. And then I'm going to initialize. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this in my Visual Studio Code because it's more convenient there. So I'm going to add some files which I want Git to ignore, just in case in an event if I don't want to push any secret files into GitHub. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to create a new file called main.tf. This is where I'm going to write the actual name generator. End goal of this name generator is to create an output with names. So what I'm saying is get providers from Hashi. So in this case, the provider name is random. And once I have that provider, I'm going to declare these variables. So the variable here is name length, which will be used by my resource to create an output pet name. So basically I'm creating a random pet name which has 9 words in it, and each of those words are separated by this dash. So this is not a fancy typical infrastructure as code. But the purpose of this video is to get an understanding of how GitOps work. So I'm gonna keep it very simple rather than worrying about cloud providers here. So if I go ahead and run this, if I go ahead and initialize Terraform and then Terraform Plan and then Terraform Apply, so what it's actually going to do is to create a 9-worded pet name with dash in between them, in between those words. But I don't want to do it on my local machine, but I want Terraform to do it on a remote repository, which in our case is Terraform Cloud. So basically there are 2 versions of Terraform Cloud. One's a public version, Terraform Cloud, and an enterprise version where organizations use to do their infrastructure as code. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my own account of Terraform Cloud to run Terraform on Terraform Cloud. So let's go ahead and log in into my Terraform Cloud. So what is expected with this command is, so I'm gonna probably make a little big here. So what is expected of here is it's going to open the browser and asks us to authenticate in Terraform Cloud. So I'm gonna go hit the login here. So it will ask, this is what I want to do. So it is going to pull me up into Terraform Cloud. So I'm gonna bring that browser here so that you can see. Okay, so the moment I hit enter, Terraform login there, so it basically navigated me to Terraform Cloud. If you see app.terraform.io is the Terraform Cloud, and then it says create an API token, and you have to copy this API token and hit done. So what we have to do is to go back here and enter that value, the token that we just copied from Terraform Cloud. So I'm going to copy here and then hit enter. So it should say that it authenticated. So I think we just got authenticated into it. So I'm gonna try scroll and see if everything looks good. So it looks like everything is good. And yeah, now that we authenticated Terraform Cloud, so next step is we have to declare in Terraform file that where exactly our Terraform should run, meaning the remote backend, right? So I'm gonna declare that here. So right after the required version, I'm gonna declare the backend remote. So I'm saying go into the organization into my Terraform Cloud and create a new workspace with the name, which is blank here. So I'm gonna name it as name generator. So let's go ahead and initialize Terraform here. It says Terraform has been successfully initialized. And then I'm gonna do, so let's bring our browser here so that we can see both of them in parallel and we can observe what happens behind the scenes. So I'm gonna bring my browser here. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, so let's go into the organization. Like I mentioned, so what we are saying in this file is to go into the organization A1 and create a workspace name generator. So I'm gonna go into my organization. So I have a couple of organizations here. So I'm gonna pick the organization called organization A1. So the moment I initialized here, it actually created a workspace. If you can see here, a new workspace has created a minute ago. So let's minimize this so that we can see both of them. Okay. So the next step is I'm gonna run Terraform Plan. So what Terraform Plan does is basically runs the, what should happen when you actually deploy this infrastructure code, right? So it basically gives, these are the steps that happen when once you hit Terraform apply. So in our case, it's basically creating random pet name with 9-letter words and with a separator here. That's what it's saying. So if you see here, the plan says 1 to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy, right? And the changes is a pet name known after apply, meaning when once you do Terraform apply, you get to know what the pet name is. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit and execute this in Terraform Cloud. So Terraform apply. So this will go ahead and create a plan in Terraform Cloud. If you see, this just popped up here, so it's basically planning. So I'm gonna go ahead. The reason why it's actually showing in orange with an exclamation mark is because I have to confirm here to proceed. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit yes. which starts applying those infrastructure changes in Terraform Cloud. So if you see, the applying kind of got triggered, and it's successfully applied. So what is expected of here is we go inside this project, and the output with 9 letters as we declared here, separated by a dash. So let's go ahead and check the output. Pet name with 9 letters separated by dash. So now that we understand that we can successfully run Terraform on Terraform Cloud, we wanted to go into next step where we automate this process using GitHub. In previous step, we actually created a repository in GitHub called name generator, and we created a couple of files here. And then what we do now, ideally what we expect is each time when we push changes into this version controlling system, Terraform Cloud will pick up from this repository and make infrastructure changes. So rather than us running into Terraform Cloud, the Terraform Cloud will have hooks linked up to GitHub, and it will check the main branch if there are any changes. And the moment it recognizes any changes, it's going to trigger the Terraform execution plan. So let's go ahead and configure that part. Before that, let me push these changes into our GitHub, into our repo. So let's check this a little bit. So we have a few files that we created. So I'm going to add Git Ignore. Git. I think we have to add remote repository to into a local machine. So let's go ahead and do that here. A Terraform file, but let's just check. Okay, so it looks like it did not go through. So let's go ahead and add Terraform and okay, Git. Okay, so now that we pushed it, it should probably come now. All right, so we have our Terraform file, just got pushed into our repository. So next we go into our name Terraform Cloud and go into settings and go into version control, and then we will connect this repository to this workspace. So let's go ahead and do version control workflow, connect the GitHub. So we call it name generator. So let me call name generator, then update VCS file. So what I'm saying here, so the default branch in this case is the master branch. So any changes that happen to this branch will get triggered, and Terraform Cloud will execute those changes here. So let's go here and make some changes. So I'm going to go here and change the number of words in the pet name. So let's just make 3 and save here, just to make it very simple to understand the process. I'm only making a simple change. So in an ideal situation, we might be changing a virtual machine, we might be changing a storage bucket. There could be so many different things on a daily basis that we change parameters to a typical infrastructure situation. So I'm going to go back and make these changes pushed into repo, and let's see if those changes are getting triggered and new plan is being executed here. So let me add, since I made a change here, I'm going to push these changes. Just say keywords. Okay. Okay, so now that we have pushed, let's see if, there you go. So you see that even before doing any kind of Terraform execution, all that we did is we simply pushed a new change in our Terraform file, and Terraform Cloud kind of picked it up from GitHub. If you see, this is the branch. This is the latest code changes that we made to that particular main.tf, and that get triggered in Terraform Cloud. So let's go ahead and click on the details, and it basically says what's being changed. Remember, we had 9 before, like 9 as a length of the word. In this case, we changed that to 3, so that's what it says. It says 9 is being changed to 3. So let's go ahead and confirm apply. Just say 9 to 3, and then I'm gonna go hit confirm, and then these changes are being applied here. And the expected output here is a pet name with 3 words separated by dash. So let's go ahead and go to overview and see the outputs here. And there you go, we have 3 words. And that's all for today. In my next video, I'm gonna actually show you how the similar GitOps procedure can be used to create real infrastructure in cloud providers like Google Cloud Platform or Microsoft Azure. So this video, again, like I mentioned, just to give an understanding of how GitOps work using Terraform Cloud and GitHub. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I'll add more content in the future. Thank you so much.